this kid. Carter, stolen by Williams. And look at this. Oh, you don't like that. You don't like NBA basketball.
Fox, goodbye. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball. The exclamation point from De'Aaron Fox. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball.
Boy, that's an ESPN highlight right there. Whoa. Carlson comes in. How about this? Holy moly, Jim Bob Bowley. That was a major league smush.
All 5 King starters in double figures. They coast in the second half, and they easily beat the Jazz tonight, 113-96, to even up their young record at 2 up and 2 down, 3 games left on this road trip. We are so happy you're with us on the post-game show. Give us a call. Let's talk about the Kings' victory tonight. Very solid, Ryno. Very solid.
Kings handle their business exactly as they should have. Way to start the road trip off. Like you said, back to 500.
Yeah, the starters didn't really have to play super minutes. I know that you heard Mike Brown saying he really wants to keep guys, no more than 35 or 36. Sabonis and DeRozan played the most minutes at 34. Fox played 31. Murray played 32. Again, you got the bench into the game. Bench wasn't great tonight, but you didn't need the bench tonight.
No, you didn't. But as this season goes on, Grant, even this road trip, they're going to need to have Malik Monk show up with a little bit more, and I expect that to happen, Nabes.
Yeah, absolutely. So all positives for Sacramento. Elsewhere, Denver did win their game against the Nets in overtime in a shootout, 144-139, and Dallas beat Minnesota 120-114. But we would love to have your phone calls. A couple of housekeeping notes. You can go to our website, if you don't like that.com. We have new merch available. There will be new merch coming on a daily basis. Again, if you don't like that.com, you can check out the merch. Also, I'm putting a lot of videos out now on TikTok and Instagram, along with X and YouTube. So I hope you can check out everything. Ryno's got his daily show, The King's Court, at 2 o'clock every day. We've got all types of programming coming your way. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. We really appreciate a thumbs up, and we're very happy to have you here. And we would love to get some feedback from you tonight, so give us a holler.
Yep, that's what we are here for. You guys said there was an issue with the phones last night. We did get some calls, so somebody hop in. Give us a call. Let us know the phone line is working. Break it open.
All right, again, the Kings next up will be the Atlanta Hawks. But first things first, they got off to a really good start on this road trip tonight, coasting 113-96. So I like that. That's 2 easy games back-to-back in the second half. You took care of business in the third quarter. You were able to, make the game comfortable, and you didn't have to sweat it out. And I love to see those type of games.
Grant, that's exactly what it is. It's the third quarter. It's the Fox quarter. It used to be the fourth. Now it's the third. And I like that trend because too many times they had bad third quarters last season. So if the Kings keep that up, that's a good way to keep yourselves in most games.
By the way, one other game currently going on at the break. The Pelicans are in San Francisco taking on the Warriors. The Warriors without Steph Curry. Of course, both teams without their starting point guards. And it's 51-47 in favor of the Pelicans. All right, we're happy to have you here. Love the chat messages, everything else. Also, one other thing I'm looking for, all right, I am looking for some rant ideas. A rant with Grant coming up a little bit later here on the post-game show. That's a rant with Grant. So give me some ideas.
Would love to hear from you. Let's start it off. I am excited. First time we're talking to her this season. We bring in Miss Anita.
Hey, fellas. What's happening? How's it going?
Anita, good to hear your voice. Thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing awesome. I needed some wins from the Kings because I just can't even stand to watch the Cowboys these days, and it's just horrible. So I'm like, Kings, you got somebody, one of my teams. Come on, let's go.
I'm a Giants fan, as you know, Anita, so I can, sympathize with your discomfort in watching the Cowboys. Trust me.
Yeah, and what I really like about what I'm seeing these last 2 games with the Kings, not only are they beating the teams that they should beat, but they're not just barely beating them. They're doing what they should do, beating them easily. Yep. So your starters are resting. You can get your bench in, kind of get them some playing time because, as you said, you're going to need them on this road trip. So we're going to need more from Malik. We're going to need more from Trey Lyles. So you can give them a little extra run, and hopefully they can get their sea legs and kind of get into a rhythm. So when you do need to call on them, they're in a flow. So I like that. We're beating the teams we're supposed to beat, and we're doing it handily.
Yeah, it's a great point, Anita. Coach Brown left Malik in there a little bit later than the rest of the guys. And the other big thing about this, you got to give the assist to the Jazz. Larry Marketing did not play the second half due to a back issue.
That's right.
Made a huge difference.
Huge difference, especially with the injury they had last night. They're really thin on their front line now.
Yeah, they are, and that's what you need to do. We've played teams when they would be missing their star, or the star would go out at halftime, and we'd get blown out. So it was never a good thing to hear that. Oh, Donovan Mitchell isn't playing tonight, or who do we have next? Atlanta, right? So Trey is out. And that was never a good. I never wanted to hear that, but I feel like this year, because you have a guy like DeMar. And yes, it changes the offense a little, but when we get into playoff time, we could have used a guy like that. When it slows down, when it's a grind, you need somebody who can come down. Besides Fox, we know Malik can do it. We know Domas, but DeMar does it on a whole nother level, and it's nice to have that just consistency. I love that he's so consistent, and we needed another guy that was consistent like that, like he is.
Very well said. You're spot on. I think when you look at this roster, assuming that you can stay relatively healthy, I don't think you're going to see the lulls that we saw last year. And we thought that acquiring DeMar DeRozan, one of the biggest things that it would help with were the bad losses that the Kings had last year. They had so many bad losses to inferior teams. And I think now with DeRozan, you've got that extra offensive weapon. I just don't think you're going to see that nearly as often. There will be some bad losses because that's part of an 82-game season, but I think there'll be few and far between this year.
No, for sure. And I don't know what game it was. Was it might have been the Lakers game or the game we played yesterday. But I noticed that, we were starting to have that lull, and DeMar went to work. I think it was yesterday's game. Just went to work, scored how many points in a row. And so he can do that. He's that guy. You can just get the ball down low to him, and he's going to go to work, either get through the free throw line or, just knock it down. And I think that takes some of that pressure off of Fox and Sabonis, so they can kind of catch their breath, and then Fox is ready to go. Sabonis is ready to go. So having that third weapon is huge.
And Anita, it also takes pressure off of Keegan Murray. Last year, there was so much focus on Keegan needs to grow offensively. He's got to be able to create his own shot. Now he gets to do it at a natural rate with getting looks instead of being centered upon defensively when those other guys are clicking.
No, that's a good point, because I felt like there was a lot of pressure, too much pressure for him to come in and be that third offensive option, be consistent. And used to always say, Grant, you got to give a rookie 3 years, a point guard, maybe an extra 1 or 2 before, you really can get a feel for where they're at. So this is year 3 for him. So let's see, if, like you said, Ryan, that really starts to work for him. But hey, guys, I'm going to let somebody else get on the show.
Thank you.
So good to talk with you. And I'll be calling in more often. Just been really busy finishing up this dissertation. So I'm just about done. I just sent it in. And so hopefully they accept everything. No more changes. And so that's where I've been. That's why you haven't seen me around as much. So
no problem. Thank you, Anita. You take care.
You.
Good hearing your voice. Hope you're well. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
I think when you analyze the first 4 games, the bottom line is you can't read too much into the losses or the wins in this sense. You lost to what looks like 2 good teams in Minnesota and the Lakers. I'm ready to say I think the Lakers are going to be pretty good this year, assuming that they're healthy, okay?
Sure.
Assuming that they maintain health, which I don't have a crystal ball. And they beat 2 bad teams in a span of 24 hours. Both Portland and Utah, to me, I label as lower tier teams. All right, they're clearly in the lower third of the NBA. So you're not going to get tested on this road trip because you're not playing other than a Miami team. And I'm not sure where they're at right now, but, Atlanta's 2-2. They just lost to Washington. They lost to Oklahoma City. Toronto is not very good. So we thought when the schedule came out, Ryno, that this was the easy part of the schedule. We thought that the Sacramento Kings this season, Ryno, had to get off to a good start based on the way the schedule looked after the first couple of weeks. We really thought they needed to be ahead of the curve. And right now they're right in the middle of the curve, but there are a lot of winnable games coming up. And if they can take care of business, it will make it easier to withstand a bad run in the middle of the season. Because again, all you got to do is peek at the schedule. And again, without talking about injuries, there's some brutal stretches coming up for this team.
Yeah, there absolutely is. Grant, in an odd way, they're ahead of the curve in areas that we didn't expect them to be good at. And in other areas where we thought this is going to be the strength, they're still kind of figuring it out. And so to your point, you won't be tested. I kind of say, isn't this the test? Because these are the teams the Kings traditionally struggled with last year. So let's see them go out and handle their damn business and show a new level of leadership and professionalism.
Yeah, I don't know if they struggled with the Jazz last year. Did they?
I don't
swept the series.
Well, I'm talking about this road trip in general, playing
the
teams.
road trip. Yeah, absolutely. And Atlanta, all these teams they're playing, and I'm not going to include Miami because you just never know what you're going to get with an Eric Spoelstra coach team. Because when I look at their team, they do have talent, but the next two games, the Kings are much better than. They're significantly better than Atlanta, and they're significantly better than Toronto. And they're going to see Toronto twice in a week.
Yeah, exactly right. And, the one thing that the Jazz started to do tonight, then they pulled back with Larry out, was the zone defense. We have not seen a strong response thus far from the Kings against a zone defense. And that's the area that I'm going to be looking for because I think it certainly will come up on this road trip. Let's kick it back to the phones. Zach, the NBA guru, you're on with Grant and Ryno.
How you guys doing?
Hey, Zach.
Just want to give a shout out. You guys know I love Keon. That guy is a menace on defense. I mean, every defensive possession, he just makes a big impact. I just want to give him his props. It's just crazy how good he was. He played 17 minutes. I think he was a plus 15 in them. I just couldn't believe that he didn't get any minutes still from Mike Brown. I'm glad he got it back to bring him in. But, he really needs to get his time because he really makes an impact on the game. And it is surreal to see DeMar on the Kings sometimes when I'm watching, like Grant was saying earlier, like when there's a stall in the offense, like last year, now we got that DeMar to get to the free throw line or get a mid-range shot, and it just smooths everything out on offense. Other than the only time maybe this year we haven't seen that is that during that 21-0 run or whatever, during that Lakers, it would have been nice to do something there, but they just got hot.
Well, we saw it in the Timberwolves game too, the end of the third quarter and start of the fourth.
Yeah, 12, whatever, 11, 12 run. And then I want to give props to Sabonis. He's been playing like an all-star this year. He's been playing amazing. And Kevin Huerter has been playing well, and that's nice to see as well. And Fox hasn't been really playing peak yet. Keegan hasn't played peak yet. So I think we got some improvement too. Especially one more thing, the bench is pretty tough out there still. If we get our bench is just not going to be good this year. We just got to say it like it is.
It's not going to be great. I mean, it can be better. We'll see. I got to see 10 more games before I'm going to critique the bench too strongly. And the reason why I'm saying that is I don't think Lyles is right now. Agreed. And I'm giving him some time to get back into the flow because I think he's an important part of this discussion. And I want to give him some more time before I'm ready to just, send him away.
And the other position is that backup center position. I know Lyles plays that part of the time, but Alex Len's minutes, I think, could be up for grabs when Orlando Robinson is healthy and gets a look. Jerry has talked about that, and I agree with him. The Kings certainly kept a roster spot for him, and he's got some athleticism, comes from the Heat organization. They usually foster pretty damn good talent.
I think the Kings should win the next at least 3 out of 4. We got 2 Toronto, we got Atlanta, and we got Miami. I think we should go 3 and 4 to show that we're a solid top 6 team. You got to.
You're not going to. Whoa. You're not going to show that you're a top 6 team by beating teams that you're supposed to beat right now. Okay, I'm not ready to go there. We're in October still. You're not going to show you're a top 6 team until you get at least into 2025. You got to be realistic about this, Zach. Come on now.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you just got to take care of business for the easy. This is the easier stretch, and we're gonna have tougher stretches. We got long road trips in the February, March, April. They're gonna come sooner than we think.
That's true, but they've also already in the first week of the season lost to a team that they beat 4 times last year. So keep that in mind as well when you're talking about top 6. It's way too early to talk about top 6 teams right now.
Yeah, I hear you. I just I always I got that positivity. And it is a small road trip right now, so it shows a little bit of something from the team. It shows a little bit.
Kings were a good road team under Mike Brown from day one. They were a good road team the first year. They were a good road team last year. Right now they're 1-1. I expect this team to be close to 500 on the road. As Jerry said, the real key to this season is winning 30 home games, something that the Kings have not been able to do at Golden One Center. So that to me is the biggest improvement for this team needs to come at home, not on the road. They're fine on the road.
Yeah, it's really odd why they play worse at home, but I don't get it. But as long as we keep improving our rebounding, we played a lot better rebounding today. We're like last in the league right now for rebounding, so it's nice that we are rebounding them by 7 today. And
I want to answer this question: does my rant have to be basketball? No, you can give me some other ideas. Why go off the rails sometimes with my rant? So if you've got a good rant that doesn't have anything to do with basketball, yeah, bring it. Absolutely.
But yeah, I'm glad the Kings took care of business, and I'll let you guys go for the rest of it.
And by the way, Zach knows all about me ranting about things that have nothing to do with sports, right, Zach?
Yeah. I'm waiting for a round 7 for that one because I feel like you've had like 4 or 5 rounds for that. I'm waiting for round 7.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about going back to California is not having to stop on the ramps when the light's red. So that's one of my big enjoyments now when I go back to Sacramento. I look forward to that. I'm like, oh yes, God, let me defeat the system. Thank you very much.
Do you feel like a rebel, Grant?
No, I actually feel normal, and I feel like everyone should do it. So no, I actually feel very good about myself, and I feel like I drive with common sense. I drive with care, and I'm just trying to not disrupt the flow of traffic, so I will not stop on the ramp.
That's when you have a gas.
Unless there's a car in front of me. If there's a car in front of me, I'm going to stop. But if there's no car in front of me, no, I'm going onto the ramp. I'm merging into the traffic normally, like a licensed driver should know how to do, and I'm not disrupting any of the flow of the traffic. So, no, I look forward to that, Zach. But thank you very much.
But we're assuming you're in a gas vehicle when all this is happening, right?
I will be from now on. I can promise you that.
Looking forward to see you on the freeway, Grant.
Zach, take care, buddy. You'll be in my rearview mirror. I can promise you that.
He's gonna be chasing you down, Dave. Hey, you didn't stop.
Yeah, you'll see me in the freeway, but I'll be looking at you in my mirror. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, good stuff. I found that call about 3 months ago when Zach went on his little streaks of calls, and then you just hit him out of the blue. Hey, Zach. You just go from there. It's gold. So
unbelievable, huh? Incredible. Kings with the win tonight. And again, if Zach wants to go look at the standings, the teams that we thought would be up near the top are near the top. All right. Yeah. Dallas, Oklahoma City. Those were 2 of the teams that people thought, Minnesota. I think Minnesota is I always like to use the 20-game barometer. Mm-hmm. That's really true in Minnesota because they made a major deal in the offseason.
Yeah, certainly. And not a lot of time in the offseason before training camp. It was literally a week, less than that. And Julius Randle looked fine in Sacramento, but that's going to take time. And Naz Reid, too, how that's going to formulate between the minutes with the 2 of them.
Cody wants me to rant about the Colts starting Joe Flacco over Anthony Richardson. I can't rant about that because I think Joe Flacco is a better quarterback. So what am I going to rant about? I think they're putting the best guy behind center. I can't rant about that. I can rant about the fact that they, went back to Richardson after Joe played so well 2 weeks ago, but I can't rant about that.
It's insane when these guys come off the couch like Joe did last year in Cleveland. Now he's still playing and playing well, Nabes.
You ready for Christmas, Grant? You're going to be shocked. You'll hear about this next week. I am ready for Christmas. Yes, I am. But I'm not going to give away the secret. Absolutely.
All right. Stay tuned.
I should probably rant about Joel Embiid saying he's probably not going to play in back-to-backs. Old news, my friend. Old news. Rant about NFL referees. Well, we're getting off the rails here. Any negatives to the game tonight?
Yeah, I thought there were times in the first half the Kings passed up great shots for good shots or turnovers. I think that's something that needs to get a little bit better. We talked about Malik being a little bit out of control, but overall, really happy. I didn't see anything that really jumped out. How about you?
No. I'm nitpicking here. All right, I'm nitpicking because I thought he played a very good game tonight in Keegan Murray. But the inconsistency with his perimeter shot is a little disconcerting to me. Other than that, no.
It's different, Grant. He's learning how to shoot on the move. He broke the rookie record spotting up. Now he's shooting more on the move. It'll come. I think he has progressed leaps and bounds. I think for me, if I had to say 4 games in, my surprise to this team, it's Kevin Huerter. How about you?
Yes, I think that Huerter, for being inactive so long, he was not good against Minnesota, but from the Lakers game forward, he's been very good. He gives this team a much added boost, and I think he's showing the value that he brings to this starting lineup.
Agreed, and he's playing smart basketball too. Defensively, he's going to get beat time to time off the dribble, but he's able to recover and make up for it. He gets blocks from behind, and those are the kind of plays that get this Kings team going.
All right, here's a good one. Rant about Warriors fans so quickly disowning Klay Thompson and thinking Buddy Hield is the answer. That's a good one.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. Klay's playing well. Dallas is playing well.
Dallas is playing really well, playing slow, much like some of the other teams in the West, but it's what you do when you have Luka on the court, one of the best in the world.
And we're already seeing one injury in the West really impact a team, and that's New Orleans, with DeJounte Murray breaking his hand. Now, he's going to be back between 4 and 6 weeks. So for them right now, it's all about treading water and not being buried in the West.
Brandon Ingram has actually stepped his game up early in the season. Yeah. I like how he's played. He's playing a little quicker, not as slow. So that is a good development, especially somebody that is probably going to be at a lot of top of the list at the trade deadline.
And if he gets hurt, they're screwed because
absolutely.
Then
who do you
they're
go
screwed
to?
Absolutely. They're in trouble. So again, 113-96 Atlanta, followed by Toronto, and then the Kings will close out this road trip coming up against the Miami Heat. I think the most difficult game for the Kings in the next week, and don't laugh when I say this, is going to be the home game against Toronto. You got a long flight after the Miami game. You're going to get home at about 5 a.m. Eastern time, adjust, deal with family issues, and then play the next night. And we've seen the Kings repeatedly over the last few years play their worst basketball of the year on the end of these road trips coming back home to play an inferior team.
Yeah, that's probably going to be a tough one. And many fans wonder why that adjustment's so hard, Grant. What exactly is it? You lived the life.
I'll tell you exactly what's very difficult. You have been gone for over a week. You walk into your house and it's roughly between 5 and 6 in the morning where you just were.
Right.
All right. So your body clock is all screwed up. Then if you're married, okay, and you have a family, the first thing that the kids want to do when they wake up in the morning is see dad. Yeah. All right. So dad's exhausted. Dad just got home, but dad wants to see the kids too. So then all of a sudden you don't get any sleep. Okay. If you're not married, well, then you have things that you have to do that you didn't do because you were away. Basic household items, big things like that. You have people that want to see you because you've been gone. So all of a sudden your, I don't want to say focus, but your list of things to do don't necessarily just include your job. There are many other things that you have to do. So then you go to sleep at whatever time you go to sleep, and your body clock is still not adjusted. So very often you're not going to sleep the way you normally would. You wake up the next morning, you're sluggish from the trip, you've been dealing with family stuff, and then you got to go to work, and people are expecting you to play at a very high level. So it's very challenging. It's just this. It's not just the Kings that go through these situations. You see a lot of teams struggle coming back from a trip on the other side of the country in their first game.
You got to come home and be super dad if you have family. In some ways, when you're on the road, you're being catered to. You know, you're not doing as much for yourself as you might be when you're at home. And it does make a difference. And if I'm not mistaken, the time change is also next week.
The worst jet lag I ever had was flying back from Toronto. It was like nothing I've ever experienced. Well, Anita, I got something I could challenge you. Fly from New York to Singapore, 18 and a half hours, land at roughly 5 a.m. Singapore time. Try to make it through that day, and then let me know how your jet lag is, okay?
Brutal. Bobo.
Yes.
Bobo, welcome into the conversation. You're on with Grant Ryno.
Yeah, why is Grant so negative for?
Because I love negativity, because you're an idiot. And when you call, I love getting on your case. How come you're not showing your ugly face on our screen?
You're a chump. You're a chump.
Face on our
You're
screen?
a chump.
Do me a favor. Go to the toilet and flush it with your head in the bowl. That would help us all out. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, Ryan. Did I interrupt you? Were you speaking, my friend?
No. Do you think that was like Bobo the actual clown? I used to watch him on WGN as a kid in the mornings. Maybe he didn't have his face paint on. You know? Oh, man.
I love it. Again,
we take all sorts of calls. Even Bobo.
We do take all sorts of calls. Absolutely. You know? We going to have him come back again? No, I hope not. Okay, this would be a good time. And by the way, we love talking about our sponsors and New Works Plumbing. They've got a fix for you. They're available around the clock 24/7 for all of your plumbing needs. Call 916-713-1010 or just go to sackserviceplumbing.com. They've got a fix for you. Have you been to Bennett's lately? Regardless of whether it's the West Side Grill in Rockland or their location in Roseville, Eureka Road, Lead Hill Road, or at Howe and Fair Oaks in Sacramento, you will get the same great quality food, prime seafood and steak. Don't forget about their happy hours daily, 2 to 6, their sips and taste. Just go to bennettsrestaurants.com. That's bennettsrestaurants.com to make a reservation.
You know, the one you asked me earlier in the show, you know, the one stat Mike Brown's probably going to point out tonight is fast break points. The Kings only had 10 and the Jazz had 12. The Kings want to play fast. Probably could have played faster tonight, Names.
Yep. Good point. I would think that is an area, but it's early in the season. You're not going to hit on all the areas that you want to hit on. It's going to take some time. There's still a lot of moving pieces to this team, and they're still getting accustomed to playing with one another.
Yep, and I think they're doing a pretty damn good job around DeMar and Domantas Sabonis. This guy, Grant, he just gets better and stronger and tougher. It's incredible.
Warriors now lead the Pelicans 81 to 72. Again, no Steph Curry. He's out a couple of games with the ankle. So New Orleans is out with their starting point guard. But again, 81-72 in favor of the Golden State Warriors. That game, 3:40 left to go in the third quarter. You know, it's interesting when you talk about the Warriors because normally without Steph Curry, they fall flat on their face, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see, first of all, how long he is out of the lineup. But they are right now with 3 minutes left. As I said, they're up 9 points.
Grant, I think it's good for them. It's not like the Warriors were going to be championship contenders this year. If you can have a couple weeks without Steph, somebody's got to step up. And then maybe you get that secondary player. And there's a few guys that are kind of vying for that between your Kumingas and such. So we'll see what they do. Pajemski, him and Steph have been shooting the ball pretty well together.
But, you know, Pajemski is a guy that I don't know anything about. And I'm saying that in all due respect. He's having a really good game tonight. I've been following the game. He's really playing well for Golden State. Again, I don't know much about him, but based on just checking out box scores and looking at video, he's really playing well. Here in this game, he's already got 19 points and 5 assists, and he's shooting the ball a lot. He's made 50% of his shots. He's 3 of 8 from downtown. He looks pretty good.
Grant, he's smart with the basketball. Number one, Steve Kerr trusts him on defense. He plays hard, sometimes too hard. You saw him in that first preseason game almost injure his shoulder on a screen. The thing about him is he's taken to Steph Curry. Steph's put him under his wing. They've done some workouts in the summer, and it's shown a little bit so far in this early season.
All right, Sacramento with the win tonight, 113-96. Give us a shout, and we would love to put you on. And don't forget, I am looking for ideas with a rant with Grant. I've already got a couple, been a couple of good suggestions. Keep them coming. And in a moment, I will do a rant with Grant.
So since we can suggest things outside of basketball, how about a fan paying for a front row seat to the World Series and grabbing a player's mitt only to be ejected?
Again, it goes into the category of stupidity. You're just a moron. There's just no other way to say it. A lot of times I think alcohol is involved in these stupid ass decisions.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine going to a Super Bowl or a World Series or a big time game and getting ejected. I've never, ever been ejected from any sports venue in my entire life, regardless of when I was young and stupid or as an adult. I mean, again, it goes back to common sense.
I think the only ejection that's ever made sense for me was the guy that jumped out of the stands to catch the extra point in that Monday Night Football game.
Yes.
I'm down with that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good way to get ejected.
That was good, wasn't it?
That was so good.
He's lucky he didn't get hurt.
Oh, that was a big fall. You're right.
Lucky. Very lucky. All right. Again, the Kings win 113-96. But yeah, you got to be an absolute moron to get kicked out of the game. Hey, Gannon, get off the Pete D'Alessandro stuff, would you please? Stop it already. I know you're joking. I get it, but don't even bring up his name, okay, please? You know how much I like you, Gammon. I really do. But don't bring up his name anymore, would you please? Thank you. Yankees fans were doing anything they could to win the game. Yeah, but and I know what you're saying, but again, it's just asinine. We see stupid things at games almost on a nightly basis now around the country, don't we?
Yeah, but nothing compared to what we see in football. Football is just on a different level. Football almost doubles as a UFC venue at every stadium on Sundays. It's embarrassing.
It's awful, but it seems like certain stadiums like SoFi, they seem to have more issues at their games, and maybe I'm wrong, than any other venue.
Grant, you have one-time fans that go to every single game. It's like everybody, even if it's a Rams fan, it's not their first game, or it's not their season ticket. It's not like you grew up, my man.
You're right. It's not. You're 100% correct. You're absolutely correct.
Different. Yep. Not like that in every city. Baki, all the way from Serbia. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Baki?
Ryno.
How are you?
Yeah, we
there.
Can
you hear it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can hear you. Okay. First of all, good evening, and not a lot to say. Everything expected from the Kings, and maybe it's early. I'm got you. And but okay, let's commentate after 4 games then. What I saw after 4 games, which is really good. It looks like Sabonis stopped to penetrate that deep inside the box when he's transferring the ball from the defense from the our court to another, and that's I think he's gonna have big number of turnovers this year. So big number of turnovers off of his number.
It's a great point, Baki. It's an excellent point.
So if you add those free throws, which is definitely improved. I don't know about the percents, but I think after 4 games we have something about 90% maybe. you are better with percents, Ryno. So
Yes,
you
much
tell
better.
me. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
they're at
much
85.9%. Baki, I will take it a step further. If the Kings continue at this rate, not percentage, but free throw attempts, they will have more attempts by the All-Star break than they had all of last year.
Yeah, great point for you. So attempts plus percentage of the free throws plus less turnovers from
Yeah.
Sabonis. You have a big material to work out only for 4 games. If we continue like this, okay, we lost 2 games, but we lost it in a strange way. We in both those games we had the lead, and sometimes we had the control over the game, and you think, okay, we're gonna win this. So definitely, it's better for me. For me, much better from the Kings. Okay, we lost 2 games, but for me, it's much better. And okay, one more thing, Napes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something which you already know. So you know what will happen if Vlade Divac will have that kind of statue in front of the Belgrade Arena. So don't give me that.
Yeah. I do know. You're right.
So,
I do know. Yes, I do.
I don't think if you step out of the hotel tomorrow morning, you will not see that head on the same place. Definitely.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, buddy.
Okay.
Good job, Baki. Tell Tedora hi.
Take care.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Thank you,
very
buddy.
much.
Somebody wants to know if we call games live on YouTube. No, we don't.
We do not. That
I don't
didn't
even think you're. I don't think you're allowed to. But people. I get asked all the time would I announce a game.
Yeah.
Via social media, and people, first of all, they don't understand how hard that would be for a variety of reasons. First of all, our feeds are not in sync. So when I'm watching a game on my device, it may not be synced up with what you're watching, which would be extremely distracting. Okay, that's number one. Number two, there would be no crowd noise, no whistles. It's just you don't understand how, like, not only hard would it be for me to do, but it wouldn't sound good. I don't think people really understand that.
Well, they've changed the game a little bit. I would say the market is not quite there in terms of viewership, but there are platforms that have partnered with NBA League Pass and other streaming sites where if you have League Pass, you can actually stream the game and allow viewers that also have League Pass to come in, and you can call the game.
You can call it right that way.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think fans understand how challenging it would be for the person who's calling the game.
It'd be really hard. The way you're talking about it, impossible.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me. I've done it for, I've been announcing games for, over 50 years. Trust me when I tell you it would be unbelievably difficult.
Well, just the fact of you not being in the building, Grant, not feeling the energy.
I could announce a game off a monitor, no problem, if I had the proper sound of the game, natural sound, all right, on a headphone.
Ambient natural sound.
That's great. No announcers, PA announcer, crowd, then I could do it, okay? Because I would have a feel of the game with the referee's whistles and things of that nature.
Right.
But I couldn't do it any other way.
Hey, I got a rant for you.
Yes.
How about these NBA coaches that lay out basically the candy aisle on the scorer's table?
They do what?
Have you seen some of these coaches, Doc Rivers? They put out multiple different things on the scorer's table. Usually it's just water. Like Coach Fisher was a water guy. He'd have like 3 or 4 cups.
Candy and stuff.
Doc Rivers has got 3 or 4 different types of candies out there.
I actually loved it. I loved it because I used to take half of them and put them in my pocket and take them back to the hotel. So like when the play went to the other side and the coaches weren't looking.
But what if the chocolate melts in your pocket, buddy?
No, I eat the chocolate during the timeouts.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean this. I used to take them all the time. I like it.
Okay. It's a different perspective when you're sitting next to it. My wife yells at me.
there used to be the holes out there, cherry holes and the honey holes, and like I would take those I would stick them in my pocket, and no, I would steal half the candy. You listen, and everyone knew it. They're like, Napes, you're taking way too much of that. I'm like, well, don't put it out in front of me. If it's in front of me, it's in my domain, and I'm taking it. Don't put it in front of me then.
You just explained my point, because my wife bought the Halloween candy like 3 weeks in advance. It's not my fault. I've got Reese's, Snickers, everything called by
Not your fault at all. Absolutely.
No.
As a matter of fact, it's her fault, and you can tell her I said that. You don't need to be buying your Halloween candy 3 weeks before Halloween and expect nobody in the house to eat it. I mean, you're not dealing with freaking reality here, okay?
Especially when you become my age. When you take the kids trick-or-treating, you're not going to ask for a candy. Now, you hit the kid up for a dad tax. You got to get one out of every 10.
Well said. And this rant right now is brought to you by EDH Motors, Automotive Reimagined. All right. I'm going to give you the website, and you can check out everything at edhmotors.com, because this is a long overdue new concept. No obligation to any franchise or big corporation, just two people trying to do something different and better. All right. David and Adam are fabulous, and I've had a chance to go to lunch with Adam and talk to him about his business model. And I've learned that they do a lot of things, but here's the basics. All right. They're going to offer you new vehicle brokerage. They also offer vehicle consignments, where they sell your vehicle for you. And of course, they can buy your car, and they will sell pre-owned vehicles. You'll take delivery at the beautiful lounge at the El Dorado Hills Town Center. You don't ever have to deal with a dealership, deal with salespeople, go into the F&I office, and that whole experience. You sit in a beautiful lounge in El Dorado Hills Town Center, and again, you'll take delivery of your vehicle. Just go to edhmotors.com. That's edhmotors.com. El Dorado Hills Motors. EDH Motors, Automotive Reimagine. All right, so it is Halloween this week. How about that? Ryno, let me ask you first, before you put me full screen. Yeah. Are you wearing anything for Halloween, or are you just going as Ryno in Sacktown?
I'm going as my ugly old self, Ryno in Sacktown.
All right. So here's a message for your significant others, or whomever it is that maybe you share housing with, whatever. All right. I guess in America, I don't know who the hell people are living with anymore. So for us, let's just assume it's our wives. All right, Ryno? Let me tell you something. If my wife is getting ready for Halloween on October 1st with pumpkins all over the place, I'm fine with that. You know why? Because I'm not going to walk outside, walk out my front door, and eat the pumpkin that's got like candles and lights in it, all right? I'm not going to eat the pumpkin, all right? But like if my wife decides to buy the Halloween candy 3 and 4 weeks before Halloween, and not only buy it, but put it in a freaking bowl on the kitchen table, and think that when the 31st comes, the damn bowl is still going to be full, you are delusional, girl. You aren't dealing with freaking reality. And then I get like flack. Why are you eating all the Halloween candy? Why the hell are you putting it out in front of everyone? Halloween is in 3 weeks. Hide it, put it away, or don't buy it. Well, I have to buy it now. It might be all sold out. You think they're going to run out of candy? They're not going to run out of freaking candy. Go down there on the 30th and buy the damn candy. All right. You put it in a bowl and you leave it out for me to see on October 1st, 2nd, 5th, 8th. You're damn right it's going to be gone. So don't blame me. Look in the freaking mirror. Happy Halloween. That's my rant for today.
Freaky nailed it. You're not going to eat the pumpkin. You know what? You know what it is? It's house candy. That's not the Halloween candy. You put it out before the 31st. It's house candy. You hit the nail on the head. Great job.
And then, then your doorbell rings. Trick or treat. Oh, I love your outfits. They're just, oh, wow. And how old are you? Oh, I'm really sorry. We ran out of candy 2 weeks ago. I'm really sorry. Here's a quarter.
I can split one in half for you. You grew up in the day and age where people probably made things and gave it out at Halloween.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Matter of fact, we did that at our family. My mother made phenomenal. She got the chocolate wafer cookies and put orange icing on them
Oh,
with candy corn for the eyes, like a jelly bean for the nose, and a piece of a red licorice for the lips. Okay.
nice.
And they were so freaking good. And you wrapped each one up in cellophane or, like the plastic wrap, whatever the hell you call it. But yeah, it was a chocolate wafer circular cookie with orange icing, candy corn as the eyes, a jelly bean as the nose, and a red licorice strip as a smile. And it was so popular. And by the way, I had quite a few of those before the 31st too. But we used to make those all the time, and we would have so many of them, and people loved them. And they were so good.
Oh, they hit all the candy groups. You've got the
Yes.
chocolate, you've got the sweet,
Yes.
you've got the wafers, the candy corn. Oh,
And here's something else we did when I was trick-or-treating. They used to hand out the orange UNICEF boxes at school, and you would say trick or treat for UNICEF. Okay.
I love
And
that.
so you would have pennies, and the kids would come up to your door with their bag and their orange UNICEF box, and you would put money in there, and then they would take it back to school and it would go to UNICEF. Unfortunately, now, some kids would probably steal the money. My brother was so into it, as he got a little bit older, he would only trick or treat for UNICEF, and he wouldn't even take candy. And the people at the would give him more money for that, and then my dad would match it. So my brother would go to school every year with the most UNICEF money collected.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
that is freaking awesome. That's way better than Jerry's big red kettle that he puts on the field.
Yes,
every
no
Thanksgiving.
question. Oh yeah,
way
come on.
better.
Come on, absolutely. All right, hey, I want to tell you about Sunrise Landing, the newest residential community in Calusa. You go to calusasunrise.com, check out everything from Blazona Development. You'll love this community, many models to choose from. Remember, no Mellorews, no homeowners, easy access, I-5, Highway 45, Highway 20, adjacent to the Calusa Golf and Country Club. Just go to calusasunrise.com. That's calusasunrise.com, and you'll get all the information you need from Sunrise Landing. So happy Halloween. Yeah, absolutely. We've got, Halloween's so different now than it used to be. Well, I'm older than you by a generation, but Halloween is so different now than it used to be.
Yeah, the trick-or-treating starts so much earlier. And in fact, there's so many more events now, Grant, like trunk or treats and different things in parking lots and community centers. But
here's something else. When I was a kid, most of us didn't have any adults accompanying us because it was safe. Now you very rarely will see kids anywhere trick-or-treating without an adult close by. That's another big difference.
Solid point. There's a lot of people that won't hand out the candy if they don't make eye contact with the adult that's with the child. Kind of like Costco, the sample lady. That one doesn't make sense to me, but that's for a different show.
My favorite candy is, I love Jordan almonds. Oh, with the white covered chocolate Jordan almonds. Oh, I love those.
Never seen them. Jordan.
Oh, they're so freaking good.
Is it white chocolate or yogurt?
No, it's not white chocolate. I think it's, whatever the hell it is, it's so good. I love Jordan almonds, though. I really do.
Okay. Jordan almonds. Nice.
Yeah. What I'm trying to think, the worst part of Halloween was when it was raining. God, that was horrible. But we used to still go out and trick or treat in the rain.
Didn't matter if you're a kid. You're going out rain, shine. Let's see. Bag snatchers. Bag snatchers were popular when I was growing up. That was the worst. Yes.
What do you mean bag snatchers?
Bag snatchers. The teenagers would run around and snatch kids' bags. I'm not kidding.
Come on.
No,
come
serious.
on.
You would have to
What
chase
the
them
hell's
down.
wrong with our country? Seriously.
That was back in the 90s, but watch the chat. Somebody's probably had their bag snatched. That was never cool. That's how you get a mob chasing you. That's what you don't want.
Wow.
Pez dispensers. I can't get on board with those. How about you, Napes?
No, I don't. That's crazy. What's Baki saying here? Correct me if I'm wrong. The practicality, impossible to do live like that. The only way would be to do it directly from the arena as an independent source, which I think would not be allowed. No, you are wrong in this sense. If I had a monitor with a natural sound feed of the arena, I could do it. You got to remember, during the pandemic, none of the announcers were traveling. They were all doing it in a studio with big monitors and the natural sound.
That's right. That is right. And
So,
even
yeah,
after the
it
pandemic,
can be
the
done.
Kings announcers weren't always traveling.
I know, right? Well, yeah.
Come on.
All right. So tomorrow I've got Sean Salisbury coming on at 3:00. We're going to talk NFL and college football. That's tomorrow at 3:00. What do you got tomorrow?
Nothing. Look for the Kings Court podcast tomorrow morning. We'll go over the game more in depth, and we'll be watching Grant and Sean at 3.
And then I'll also stay on after Sean, and we'll talk some football tomorrow as well. So I won't just do a 20-minute show with Sean and then wrap it up. We'll do more. So that's tomorrow at 3:00. Any final thoughts?
Good win. Enjoy a couple days off. The Kings are staying in Utah tonight, flying to Atlanta tomorrow. Everybody out there, have a wonderful and safe Halloween if we don't talk to you until afterwards.
Sounds good, everyone. Tomorrow, going to be a fun show. Take care. Thanks for joining us right here on the Postgame. If you don't like that, bye-bye, everybody.